Bit more of a personal video this time, just sharing what I do use and don't use in terms of products around the household, bathroom, etc. Let's start with the bathroom. So with my hair, I wash my hair every now and again. Lately I haven't washed it for a long time and it hasn't been a problem. Just with water, give it a shake, etc. It's not real greasy or anything. Soaps, shampoos, etc. I'll only use the ones that are cruelty free. So in New Zealand we have a brand called Earthwise and another one called EcoStore, and both those ones don't test on animals, so I'll only use those products. With my teeth, cleaning my teeth, I no longer use toothpaste. I haven't done for well over 2 years. I typically use just water, and lately I've been using turmeric, the powder, so just put some in a cup and use that, and I find that's quite good. They say that it actually whitens your teeth. I think it does somewhat. It's not going to be crystal clear like the movie stars, but it definitely does help with that a little bit, which is cool. Other things that I do not use would be deodorants, spray deodorants, roll-on deodorants. I haven't used that in so many years I couldn't even tell you the last time that I used them. Reason being, you're spraying chemicals onto your skin, and your skin is your largest organ, and stuff that you're putting on your skin is going to go in your body. So I try to live the most natural kind of life that I can in this very unnatural world that we find ourselves in, living in a house, etc. Obviously you would probably live in shelter and stuff back in the day, but yeah, these things that people put on their skin, I definitely do not want to use. I could go and buy these things and I could use these things, but I choose not to. And do I smell? No, I don't smell. No one's told me that I smell. Obviously, if you're doing hard exercise and you're sweating, then perhaps you give off a little bit more of an odor, but even then, with what I eat and how I have eaten for so many months, years now, it's really not a problem. So even after hard exercise sessions, let's say a good 20 to 30 minute run, I'll be sweating, but it doesn't really smell as bad as someone who eats meat and as someone who eats animal products. Their body odor, if you've compared it to someone who is on an all vegan diet, is very, very different. Other things that people use, such as conditioners for their hair or moisturizers, things like that, I don't use any of that stuff. I don't buy any of that stuff. Have no intention of using any of that stuff as well. As I said, I am trying to live a more natural kind of life without having to put things on my skin, etc. Sunscreen is another one that is very controversial in hiker vegan community, etc. A lot of people say, if you eat correct diet, then you don't have a problem with sunburn, or way less of a problem. I tend to go down that thought track as well. I don't use sunblock anymore. The last time I used it was around a year and a half ago. So I do spend time in the sun, and I do for longer periods of time, and my skin is quite tan, and I don't generally have a problem with it anymore. Obviously, parts of my body which are very white, if I went out in the sun for 4 hours, and expected to not have a problem with the sun, then that would be a different story. But again, we live these unnatural lives where we're wearing clothes and stuff, which back in the day I doubt we would have worn clothes. So it's a tricky one, really. Yeah, I think, if you're going to spend hours and hours in the sun, then it's perhaps a good idea to cover your skin somewhat, but at the same time, the sun and what we need from the sun. We live, again, these lives which are very different to, I think, how we once probably did live. We're out in the sun for much longer. Some people spend their job, or their time at their job, all day out in the sun, and I think back in the day you wouldn't probably do that. If it was really, really hot and 35, 40 degrees, then you'd probably seek shade. But unfortunately we have all these bills to pay, and we live in a monetary system where we unfortunately have to pay to live, essentially. So that's a whole nother topic, but back to the sunscreen thing. I'm not going to buy sunscreen. I don't buy sunscreen. I'm not going to use sunscreen anymore. People say, yes, you're going to get skin cancer, etc. Well, all these people that put sunscreen on their body still get skin cancer. So does it prevent it? I don't think so. I think it has more to do with diet and lifestyle. So I'm going to go down this train, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's that. I don't have a problem with it. Shoes is another one. I try and spend a lot of time in bare feet, walking on grass, and just spending time in bare feet, or in bare feet. Yeah, that's the way to put it. And I think that is far better. If I don't just stroll around in bare feet, then I've either got cycling shoes on, work shoes, running shoes, or flip-flops, jandals. I like wearing them, and I don't have any foot pain, etc. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, I do try and spend a lot of time in bare feet, and I think that's a good thing. Again, just trying to live a more natural life in the lives that we now live. Other things around the house that I still see people using are just toxic cleaning products that they put on the things that they cook on. For example, a frying pan, the things that people put on them and that they eat off just astounds me. I used to think it was completely normal, and now I'm just thinking, what the actual fuck are they doing? Barbecues as well. Not that I even use barbecue, because I don't have no intention to cook anything on a barbecue, but people spray on crazy things and they eat food off it the next day, and that just blows my mind. But yeah, that also some people use, well, not necessarily vegans, but other people that use, and I perhaps once used, would be the fly spray things like that, those things that do the occasional bursts, etc. Again, no way would I use any of those things, no way would I purchase any of those things anymore, because you're just spraying effectively, I don't know what kind of dosage, poison into the air and inhaling that, and that is retarded. So no, won't use any of those things as well. Oh, one last thing, microwaves. I do not use a microwave anymore. Yes, I use a cell phone, yes, I use other electronics, and they're probably not the best as well, but we live in this world and you have to be somewhat a part of it. If I went and lived in the bush, then not much would change in the way of suggesting people become vegan, etc. So yeah, microwaves, don't have any intention to buy one, use one. Where I'm living now, they have one, we have one, but I don't use it. I eat baked beans cold, oats cold, and rice out of the fridge cold, and it's just something that I've gotten used to, and now I have no problem with it. That is where I'm at. I've made some pretty full-on changes in the last few years, and I think they are far better for me and far better for many other reasons. Also, if you do have any questions, post them down below.